Jed MacKay and Lee Barbet enter the magical side of Marvel as Stephen Strange goes through a full day as the world's prime magical protector, but something is lurking in the darkness and wants to end his tenure as Sorcerer Supreme early. Jed MacKay finds himself tasked with delivering an interesting premise for the death of Doctor Strange, and so far for the first issue, he succeeds. I like that instead of the book building to his death in, say, issue 3 or a later issue in the series, we get it out of the way and focus on the murder mystery aspect of things and what happens when you kill a Sorcerer Supreme, the prime magical protector of Earth and a being who's keeping everything magical in check and together. The book was a little heavy-handed when it came to foreshadowing that, however, with the history of Koschei the Deathless being told throughout the issue, as well as Stephen flat out saying he doesn't plan on dying or moving on from his role as Sorcerer Supreme, and really just him saying he just sure loves living and doesn't plan on dying anytime soon. A little heavy-handed at that stuff, and it kind of took me out of the story a little bit. Apart from that, I enjoyed getting a day in the life of Strange and seeing all he does, even more so now that his hands are repaired so he can help people both as a doctor in the medical field and in the magical field, so I liked we got to see both sides of that. The ending twist is what I imagine being Strange's contingencies enacted is interesting, as well as I have to wonder if it's a way to keep Strange around by actually having him killed off but he's still there as well. It's sort of like a technicality sort of thing. And it's a younger version of Strange, so maybe it's a bit more in line with his MCU version. Lee Barbet is tasked with depicting Strange's death and does a really wonderful job of it, doing a great balance of weird magical effects and cool light shows and stuff, and design, as well as everyday superheroics that Strange is able to do as well. One thing no one misses when drawing Strange or having him in a book is all of the brilliant colours that come with the character and his powers, and Lee has some fantastic colours across his work on all of his pages, all provided by the wonderful Antonio Fabela. Death of Doctor Strange issue 1 was a pretty good opening to Marvel's newest event, opting to go the murder mystery route with the story after showing just how important Strange is to the protection of Earth and its dimension. Hopefully the numerous tie-ins that this series has for some reason don't hamper the mystery all that much. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. Death of Doctor Strange issue 1 finds Stephen woken by the ghost dog Bats, who wants his walkies. Stephen, despite knowing that the ghost dog doesn't actually need them, gets up, going about his morning routine before getting coffee with Wong, bantering with his partner about remembering how Strange used to be in the early days and how much has changed since then. Stephen and Bats leave the sanctum, walking down the street as they talk about how Hawkeye's dog probably doesn't drag Clint out of bed in the morning for walkies. Bats knows that this is all in the name of health, since he doesn't want his friends to die, but Stephen knows he's too busy to die. Stephen tells him to pick up the pace since he's got surgery in an hour, as later, Stephen scrubs up and saves someone's life, but Stephen finds himself nervous thanks to his hands being back, feeling like he's a med student again, but he knows his hands know what to do and he trusts them. During one of his breaks, Stephen tends to his other patients as he sees an explosion downtown, suiting up as the Sorcerer Supreme to deal with a being who is hearing screaming in his head as he explodes with power. Strange tells the cops to stand down, knowing the man doesn't need a bullet, he needs a doctor. He confronts the man, learning that his name is Pavel and he's ranting about just wanting a little bit of power and to be taken seriously. Stephen learns the man got his power from Cinnabus and he was also dying as well. Stephen knows that he is talking about the 7 sons of Cinnabus and the dimension in the Celestial Concordance, and his connection to the realm is causing him stress, so he will sever the connection. Stephen gets to work conducting his magical surgery, freeing the man from his pain and telling the officers that he needs hospitalization, as he leaves to teach a class at the Strange Academy, telling the students all about his role as the Sorcerer Supreme and how it comes with many grave duties since he is part of the world's natural defenses, much like the ozone layer. He knows many have attempted to invade Earth's dimension in the past, and while travel between dimensions is possible, a large-scale invasion en masse cannot happen, but it's not perfect and things like the War of the Realms can still happen from time to time. He says that he's telling the kids this since it's possible the next Sorcerer Supreme is in that room with them, and he cannot be in the role forever, and the Vishanti will continue to test him and maybe even one of his villains will kill him, but many have tried and have failed. The bell rings and he dismisses the class, but he is soon met by Doyle, who knows something is going on, asking about his father Dormammu, since the boy can feel something isn't right with him. Strange knows he's not the first to talk about this, as he is suddenly summoned to the baseball field where he helps Magic battle some baseball-themed demons. Strange finds this quite odd, and Magic finds it more embarrassing, as Strange restrains a demon, hearing something about a child making his way through the outer planes, and they are to harvest children's souls on Earth to sate his hunger. The magicians knock the demons out and send them back to where they came from. Magic wants to speak with Dr. Voodoo about upping the warding around the school as Steven leaves, going about his duties as the Sorcerer Supreme, stopping many magical threats and some everyday crime as well, knowing his work never ends and neither do his responsibilities. As he battles ogres and evil mages, he knows that he has met many incredible unique people from across the multiverses, knowing many are friends and even lovers, but he has lost many as he remembers the story of Koschei the Undying, who, while cheated death, had to carve out his own soul. Later that night, as Steven unwinds, he answers a knock at the door, finding someone familiar at the door, wondering why they are there. The being says that this is his last day as an explosion rips through the sanctum. Strange is consumed by the fireball, soon blinded by magic as the being pulls a dagger on him. Steven tells him to do it, but he must warn the being that this will not be the end the villain wishes. Moments later, many beings across the 10 realms feel what is happening as Wong finds Doctor Strange has been killed. Bats doesn't believe that he is gone as suddenly Baron Mordo arrives, demanding to know who has taken the one thing that rightfully belonged to him. Wong angrily attacks the villain, thinking that he did it, confronting Mordo's lapdog, but he is restrained by Jericho and Zelma. Mordo says that there was nothing he desired more than Strange's death at his hands, but he meant his own hands, no one else's, since the hero was his to kill. Zelma hears a buzzing, finding it to belong to Strange's Avengers membership card, which, when activated, gives her a message from Captain America, who says that they have tracked multiple extra-dimensional invasions and they need to engage immediately. Zelma realizes the barrier around Earth's dimension is now down, and the purple dimension has invaded the Gobi Desert, the 6th dimension has raised a fortress in Peru, and Kalamesh has resurfaced off the coast of England. As the heroes and villains argue and try to decide what to do amongst the chaos, a magical door opens and a younger version of Doctor Strange arrives. Knowing if he's been released, then the worst must have happened, and they must move quickly, but first, he wants to know what year it is.